Welcome, everybody. My name is Jose Hutron. Welcome to the Dwell Podcast. Super excited to have you with me today. I want to get started in this journey. It's been a long time in the making, but welcome to Dwell. It's an impact podcast at the intersection of life design, business, and growth. It's a life building and purpose driven adventure. Yes, I said it. It's an adventure. And we'll talk a lot about the process of building a business venture, but more so building a life. And building a life is truly or should be an adventure. This is the culmination of a journey across many roads and experiences and people building, education, teaching, sharing skills, helping people build their own toolbox for life, entrepreneurship, launching ideas, getting ideas off the ground, and ministry. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Incredibly honored for you to join me today in this adventure. Let's get started. I want to share a recent experience at a local restaurant, a restaurant many folks are familiar with. If you have one in your local area, you are blessed, and that is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, we know, is a place for chicken, it's a place for good food, good grub. And so, what do you do when you go to Chick-fil-A? What do? You ask for the nuggets, you ask for the chicken, and so in this case, I was ordering a salad of some sorts, and basically, you know what they do? What do they do next? They ask you, would you what kind of dressing would you like with that? And so me, this is the point where you can go with the flow, or you can step out of the status quo and step out of your comfort zone and try something different. And we'll be talking a lot about risk and taking risks, embracing the opportunities that are in front of us. And so that moment of selection, that moment of choice was a place where I could either say, yes, please, I'll take some of that ranch with my Cobb salad, or, you know what? I want all the sauce. And that's exactly what I did. Not knowing what to expect, I just basically went off. I said I could have named off a few sauces, but this is a time where I'm like, let's go all in. And that's exactly what I did. I took a risk. I went out there, said, I'll take all the sauce. It may seem like a minuscule or a minimal um, item of some sort, but it was a big deal because what happened next was not only exhilarating, it was beyond my expectations. It worked. It actually unlocked a door for me. It showed me gave me an opportunity to go beyond. It was for me, it was like the universe was telling me, Jose, you are on the right path. It was validation because what happened next was confirmation. It was a signal for me as an entrepreneur, as a aspiring growth coach, a startup and growth coach, growth being growth mindset, not being held back by what we can't do, but pushing into what we can do and what's next. So what happened for me was incredible. Not only did I have the team member laughing and joining me in that spirit of more in 2024, but what happened next is he said, hey, you know what? You look like Gary Vee. I'm like, what? Gary Vee is a big deal. Gary Vee has been around in the content game for a long time. And so that was incredible for me. That was like a validation that I need to podcast. I need to create content. I have a story to share with the world. And so thank you for joining me. That brings me to the purpose of the Dwell podcast. It's to edify, it's to build up and help us cultivate a growth mindset, to construct and strengthen an attitude of possibility and an internal motion, a flow toward building self efficacy. Now, what is self efficacy? For those that don't know, or as a refresher, it's the self confidence in your ability to control your behavior, influence your environment, and stay motivated. It's to cultivate an attitude with altitude. And this, to me, takes me to the title of my first episode. Welcome to the Dwell Podcast. The title of this first episode is All the Sauce. I challenge you to go out there and ask for all the sauce. No matter the opportunity, no matter the choice, take a risk. What will happen next? What could happen next? What will happen next might be exhilarating. It might even be a breath of fresh air. It'll be rewarding and it'll be confirming. Who knows? Maybe you'll even look like Gary Vee. And so I want to share some motivation in the spirit of all the sauce. I want to share something from Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. It says, "Whatsoever any hand findeth to do, do it with your might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest." And we know that's powerful. That's Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. It's powerful from the Old Testament. I'm going to bring a lot of word into this podcast. I'm going to bring word and the bread of life and truth because that is the bedrock of who we are. And so it says, whatever your hand finds to do it with your might. Do it with, let's just say, all the sauce. For there is no work. There's no work. There's no pushing. There's no pulling. There's no tugging. There's no exertion. There's no device. There's no technology. There's no breakthrough, no knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. And if in case you didn't know it, that is where we are all headed. In the grave whither thou goest. So whatever you do it with all your might. Give it your all. Be intentional, stay committed, and don't let anybody rob you of your aspiration or perspiration for more. Your vision is your victory. Embrace the possibility for more in 2024. And welcome to the first episode of the Dwell podcast. It's such a fresh air to be here creating content. This has been in the makings for some time now. The other thing I want to say in this first episode, that it's your season. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1 says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." And so the intersection of season and purpose is beautiful. It's worth the wait. It's worth the process. It's indeed a desired haven. When you get there, that intersection is just the desired haven, as it says in Psalms 107. It is just a desired haven that you hope for. So don't be wary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. If we do everything we do with all our might, for there is no work in the grave, there is no wisdom in the grave, we shall reap if we faint not. So my challenge to myself and to all of us is to sow bountifully in 2024. What we release, we will return. It will return in kind. It's the law of the harvest. Sow the wind and you will reap a whirlwind. What you sow in tears, you will reap in joy. Galatians 6 and 9 says, "And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." And you know what they say? Well doing leads to well done. Let's just take a few moments here to talk about the power or talk about purpose. Purpose is powerful. We talk about the intersection of season and purpose. There are no limits to what humility and unity can produce, to what purpose can produce. The power of purpose is a force that has the ability to bring people together as a collective for impact and personal growth, no matter the scope, whether it's a region, a community, a business venture, an individual. When individuals are united by a shared purpose, they are able to harness their collective energy and work towards a common goal. This sense of unity creates a strong sense of belonging and camaraderie as everyone is working towards something greater than themselves. It provides a sense of direction and meaning in people's lives, giving them a clear focus and motivation to strive towards something tangible, something meaningful. The power of purpose, shared purpose, acts as a catalyst for collaboration and cooperation. Shared purpose is an individual platform for folks to pull their skills, knowledge, and resources to achieve their desired outcomes, no matter the horizon that you reach for. And so I invite people, friends, connections, my network, folks who are listening. Let's work together towards a common purpose, because working together towards a common purpose will allow us to make a positive impact on the world. It'll also open up opportunities for personal growth and development, helping us build our self-efficacy. Through our collective efforts, we can gain new perspectives, learn from one another. If you are working on something wonderful, something new, something interesting, something that you want to share with the world, whether it's a food pop up, a food startup, a new restaurant, a new business adventure, a new project, a new community, let me know. I want to know about it. Let's share it with the world because a collective effort brings us together where we can learn from one another, develop skills and qualities that contribute to our own personal growth and collective growth. The power of purpose not only brings us together, but it empowers us to become better versions of ourselves. And let's do that. And so let me share and wrap up with a little bit about my purpose with the Dwell podcast. The Dwell podcast is part of my own personal brand, my professional brand. It's part of my what I'm calling my platform. I am a platform. I am a force to be reckoned with because the excellency of the power is not of me, but it is of my Father in heaven. And so my purpose with Dwell is to be kingdom driven. My purpose with Edify Ventures and Dwell is to help others, is to bring a kingdom mindset with a faith driven agenda. I'm not here to sugarcoat, but to keep it real and to share with you the reason for every season. I'm here on purpose to bring the intersection of life design, business, impact, and cultivating a growth mindset as a kingdom entrepreneur because the excellency of the power is not of me, but it is of the Lord Jesus Christ. So I invite you to join me in the Dwell podcast. We'll talk a lot about business. We'll talk a lot about life, success. We'll talk about venture building, but we'll bring faith into the equation. Faith that transforms, faith that'll get you to that desired haven. So as a kingdom entrepreneur, let's be mission minded. I'm here to help build you up from the ground up, as one of my colleagues once said. And I got to hold on to that. If I can reach one person, it'll be worth it all. This is the purpose of Dwell. So stay hungry, stay motivated, ask for all the sauce. And remember, like it says, Proverbs 2:21, for the upright shall dwell in the land and the perfect shall remain in it. Let's dwell together. Thank you.